I'm joined by Kyle Balgames. Welcome, Kyle.
How are you?
Raja Suleiman with Orzhov.
Max McVitie.
Congratulations, Brian DeMars.
Zach Allen. I wouldn't be here without these guys, though. So.
And the champion of Proto Counter-Attack here, Ari Lax.
All right, welcome to RAW Hobbies and Games in Livonia, Michigan. I'm Zach Allen, joined by my teammate
Raja Solomon.
And today we're making magic happen here at the store. But before we get into what we're playing and all, the whole gameplay, please remember to like and subscribe to the video if you like what you see. It really helps us grow the channel. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, feel free to comment. We're always being vigilant about the comment section, so we'll be there to engage with you guys.
Absolutely. So today we're playing some Modern Paper Magic. If you've been following the channel, I played a PTQ online with Goblins earlier in the week, and it was a pretty successful PTQ, but in the videos I get absolutely dismantled by Blue-Red Prowess, which is what Raja's bringing to the table today. So we're going to see if we can play this matchup, kind of figure out what's going on here. We've made a few changes to the list from that video that I'll talk about when we get there. But before we do, I'm going to kind of give a breakdown of the deck and why I'm playing some of the cards I'm playing. Now the deck is based around Conspicuous Snoop. It's a Goblin from M21, kind of a new printing. It says I play with the top of a card in my library revealed. It says I can cast Goblin cards from the top of my library, and it has all activated abilities of all Goblins on top of my library. So I have a card called Bogart Harbinger in the deck that lets me tutor my library and put any Goblin on top of it. And what we do is we put Kiki Jiki on top, and then Snoop can tap and make infinite copies of itself once Kiki Jiki is on top of the library. And then the last copy of Snoop, after I've made 20,000 copies or whatever it is, we'll target the Harbinger again. The copied Harbinger comes in, I get to tutor my library again. I'll put Sling Gang Lieutenant on top of the library, and then all the Snoops I have in play have the ability to sack themselves and drain you for one and gain me one life. So
right.
It's basically like a really big fireball, but this can all be done at instant speed once the Harbinger's in play. So it can kind of kill you out of nowhere in some spots.
Yeah.
And the other thing that helps me do it at instant speed is Aether Vial, which historically is one of the most powerful artifacts in Modern. It's been insanely powerful for every creature deck that's played it, basically the whole history of the format.
Yep.
It's easily the best. I think it's the best card in the entire deck. Every hand that has an Aether Vial is basically going to be better than a hand that doesn't. And what Aether Vial does is every turn I can put a counter on it, and then I can just tap and put a creature into play from my hand that has the same CMC as the number of counters on Aether Vial. And I can do this at instant speed, so it lets me combo at instant speed, which is a really powerful effect, right?
Yeah.
The other thing we have is Thoughtseize. This is a Thoughtseize deck to kind of make sure I can clear your hand from removal spells that make my combo happen. The second most powerful card in the deck, I think, is Goblin Matron, which is just a 3-mana 1/1. But when it enters the battlefield, I can search my library for any Goblin and put it into my hand.
Right.
Which, I mean, tutor effects like that are really powerful. They're not something that really exists very much in Modern. It's one of the big bonuses to playing Goblins is that I get this tutor effect.
Especially red really doesn't get that kind of tutor consistency. It's usually either like green for like your Court of Calling effects, Eladamri's Call, those creature tutors.
Yep. Or
like black for like the historically broken black tutors. So
yep.
like red doesn't really see that kind of action. So to have it be printed and be that efficient is says a lot about the card.
Especially when I can use it with Aether Vial. So Aether Vial, tapping to put a Matron in play is better than Soul Ring, right? Instant speed, uncounterable, 3 mana for just the tap of an artifact.
Right.
So powerful.
Yeah.
And what Matron allows this deck to do is I have this whole combo plan. I can use it to tutor for the pieces I need for the combo at any point. But also if I'm in a spot against, say, this deck where it has a ton of cheap removal spells that are just going to make it impossible for me to combo, I can go on a fair game plan. And for that, I can tutor up Goblin Chieftains, which are, I have 2 of them, and it's a 3-mana 2/2 with haste that gives my other Goblins +1/+1 in haste. So you pair that with Sling Gang Lieutenant, that makes 3 bodies, and you play this, attack for 2, the next turn you play this, and all of a sudden you're attacking for 8 and have 4 drains available, which is really powerful.
A lot of damage out of nowhere.
And then the card draw effect in the deck outside of Matron tutoring is Goblin Ringleader. And when Ringleader enters the battlefield, it flips over the top 4 cards in my library, and I can put all Goblins from those 4 cards into my hand. And all of these enter the battlefield value effects actually play really well with Kiki Jiki, which is really just in the deck for the combo aspect, but it actually plays pretty nice in the fair game to just keep copying ringleaders, keep my hand full, keep copying matrons, keep tutoring for other goblins. Really powerful effect. And the last thing I wanted to mention before we get into the Prowess deck is the list I was playing previously had Fiery Islet to stop myself from flooding. I thought it was costing me a little too much life, and I'm trying a new sideboard card for this matchup, so I wanted to play a third Cavern of Souls. So we've got Cavern of Souls here to just kind of make it a nightmare for the blue decks that want to counter my goblins. Just not going to let them do that, and it's just pain-free, perfect colored mana for my deck. So
Right. And most of your spells are either goblin creature spell or goblin spells or Aether Vial, which doesn't care about the colors.
Yep.
So it's pretty safe conclusion.
It's basically only awkward with Thoughtseize, and it is awkward with Thoughtseize, but the deck has enough red and black sources that it's not a huge deal. So,
Right.
You want to tell us about what you're bringing?
Yeah, so I'm playing Blue-Red Prowess. This deck has been doing very well on Moto recently, so I figured just leave it up and try it out. Get into the details of the deck. Here we have the two one-drop Prowess creatures, Monster Swiftspear and Soulscar Mage. They get the board going. And then we have some new inclusions from recent sets. We have Sprite Dragon from Ikoria. This card is like a Prowess creature with haste, but also the prowess that it has is a permanent prowess. So every time you cast a non-creature spell, it's keeping that +1/+1 forever, right? And so that damage can really stack up over time. And then we have Stormwing Entity, which was from M21. It's a 5-mana 3/3 that costs 3 less to cast if you've played an instant or sorcery this turn. And it's also got Flying, Prowess, and ETB that when it enters the battlefield you get to scry to. So it's a lot of text for a card that's ultimately a 2-mana spell in this deck, and we're very good at enabling casting instant sorcery every single turn. And so between the 0-mana spells and Metamorphose, it's very reasonable to just cast this as a 2-drop early on in the game, and then just start pressuring your opponent with a 3/3 flying Prowess creature.
Yeah, that's very strong. The other thing, and we've mentioned this before, when it's in play, it costs 5 mana. That's what it counts as. So
Right.
Gets around Fatal Push, gets around Ugin Minuses, gets around Abrupt Decay, all these CMC targeting removal spells.
Yep.
It basically is hexproof from all the ones that get played.
Yep.
So
Chalice of the Void, which this deck's very soft too, gets around that. It's not really a 2-drop either.
Yep.
And then moving up the curve, we have Lightning Bolt, which is just great in red aggressive decks. Burst Lightning as the poor man's Lightning Bolt. And then Lava Dart is great with Prowess creatures because it's 2 spells, oftentimes. Gut Shot and Mutagenic Growth are both 0-mana spells that can interact with the board. Metamorphose is also just another 0-mana spell that can smooth your colors out and just kind of have you go off. And then all these cards fill the graveyard for Bedlam Reveler, so you have a way to refuel in the late game after you've cast a lot of these cheap spells that come out of your hand pretty fast. Opt smooths your draws out, and then Life Sage is just a way to refuel on the cheap. Kind of similar to Bedlam Reveler, but instead of being attached to a Prowess creature, you're just getting a quick burst of 2 cards.
Yep. All right, let's shuffle up and see how this matchup plays out.
Let's do it.
All right, so I said this was a bad matchup. How do you actually feel about it?
I see why you'd say that, just because I'm playing 4 bolts, 2 burst lightnings, and a bunch of ways to deal 1 damage.
Yeah.
So in addition to that, you don't really have too much time to try to catch up with your 4 drops or 5 drops from attacking you real fast.
Yep.
Your Thoughtseizes are going to hurt you.
Yep.
And so I think it makes sense that this would be a rough matchup for you. I think I'm probably ahead.
Yeah. I will say the card that's given me the most issues, having played the matchup, is definitely Lava Dart. Lava Dart, oftentimes in your deck, can be 1 mana to kill 2 creatures. All you have to do is sacrifice a land, but it's also giving you 2 Prowess triggers to do that. And if you ever have a Lava Dart just sitting in your graveyard, it essentially protects you from the combo.
Yeah.
It protects you from the Bogart Harbinger Hack. I can still do the pass, do it, copy Kiki in your end step, but
you would not afford to have another turn.
Exactly.
Aggressive enough.
Well, and also just if I pass to you, it's just so likely that you'll find another removal spell that kills Snoop. So it's just so unlikely that this actually works.
Right.
And the Lava Dart being in your graveyard also makes Munitions Expert almost not work, which is really unfortunate because Munitions Expert does damage equal to the number of goblins I have in play.
Yeah, so you're losing 1 immediately as soon as you play it, so it's really going to count everything else.
Yeah, so yeah, I cast the Munitions Expert, and a lot of the times because you're already using removal spells on my stuff, I put the Munitions Expert in play, and I'm just barely able to do enough damage.
Yeah.
And then you flashback Lava Dart out of your graveyard, kill the Munitions Expert, so it does 1 less damage, and it triggers Prowess. So it's like just so brutal to try and kill anything with Munitions Expert in this matchup, which is part of the reason why the matchup's so bad.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, Zach, what do you call him?
I'll call odd.
Alright. It's odd.
Get to be on the play, that's probably important.
So lucky.
Okay, so my hand has a decent amount of these, a pretty decent curve. I wouldn't say it's great for this matchup, but there's also no world where I mulligan this, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep.
This might seem weird, but I'm actually going to keep this. It's obviously land light, but I like the spells that I have, and I think that we can play off a land for a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and keep.
Okay. I'm going to lead off with a Black Leaf Cliffs and pass.
Alright. I'm going to cast a Swift Spear and attack for 1.
I'll take 1, go to 19.
Okay. Good.
End of turn, I'm going to Tark Fire it. I do this end of turn because if you have like a free spell and want to save it.
Yeah, you get punished by Mutagenic Growth. I think it's safer to take 1. That resolves.
Okay. I'm going to draw for turn. That was a pretty good draw. Yeah, actually, I think that was a really good draw. I'm going to just play a mountain, and then we're going to cast a Maw War Marshal. It's going to trigger, and I'm going to get a Goblin.
Alright.
Your turn.
Let's see here. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Didn't get there with what we wanted, which is a land. I think we don't have to discard yet. I think we're just going to go ahead and pass turn to Zach.
Okay, so my War Marshal is Echo. In my upkeep, I have to decide if I want to pay 2 to keep it. When it dies, it's going to make another 1/1. So basically, you play it as 2 1/1s. But I will say in this matchup, chumping really matters. You're kind of stuck on lands right now, so it seems like you maybe kept the hand based on having removal spells. And if that's the case, it makes me want to pay Echo, so I'm going to do that. Keep these tapped, and then draw for my turn.
Sure.
We get really paid off for that play here. So we drew an Aether Vial for turn, so I'm going to play a land, fetch, go down to 18. I'm just going to fetch a Swamp here. No reason to take more damage than I need to. I already have 2 red sources, so I can basically cast every spell in my deck.
Yeah.
And getting the Swamp is just going to be fine. So I could have also got another mountain, but I'd rather have red, you know, access to double red and double black than just triple red and single black. So get the Swamp.
Okay.
Also, I've only seen Mountain and Swift Spear. I mean, I know we know the list, but it's possible you would have Blood Moon in your deck.
For sure.
So
Yeah, that's reasonable.
may as well just
Or Magus to the Moon or something.
yeah, something crazy like that. So may as well just play around it.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost me anything. And I'm gonna put my Aether Vial in play, and then attack you for. I guess I'm gonna attack for 2. I still want to leave this back to block though. My life total is gonna be super relevant this entire game, so I'll just attack for 1.
Okay. I think this is a safe spot to just Lava Dart this creature.
Okay. You want to Lava Dart to War Marshal?
No.
All right, go ahead.
Alright. Yeah, we're getting punished for this keep. Not ideal. Contemplating making a kind of a crazy play here. It's so important that we start finding lands. And we're not doing anything else with our mana this turn. That might just be a spew though. Yeah, I think that's a tight. Go ahead, Zach.
Alright, in my upkeep, I'm going to put a counter on the Aether Vial.
Okay.
Draw for turn. That's a pretty good draw. It's not perfect, but it's definitely good. So I could cast this. I'm actually going to wait on it because Raj is not doing anything. It still feels like he has a bunch of removal spells in hand. And really, if I just wait and let the Aether Vial tick up, I don't think I can really lose this game. So I'm just going to pass. I'm still going to stay back. I don't think the damage matters yet. I'd rather be able to block a haste threat. So.
Alright. Okay, I will play Soulscar Mage.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
So we know that Raja can beat this with the Lava Dart if he wants, but being that he's stuck on 1 land, having him sack a mountain to cast it would be just totally fine for me. So I'm going to go ahead and Tarfire this and see what happens. This is the end of turn.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and Mutagenic Growth, paying 2 life.
Okay.
think saving my guy is worth it here.
Fair enough. Alright, so upkeep. I'm going to put a counter on Aether Vial, draw for turn. That's kind of an awkward draw. So, the reason we waited on this is it lets us cast cards from the top of our libraries. So, I'm going to go ahead and activate the Aether Vial.
Yep.
Put a Snoop in play.
Alright.
Reveal the top card of my library. It's another Aether Vial.
Perfect.
We are loaded up on those. And I'm going to cast the other Aether Vial I drew. So, we said Aether Vial was the best card in the deck. Getting a lot of them is really cool. So, yeah. I'll pass it to you.
I sense some sarcasm in your voice. Alright, so we're going to start off by attacking the Soul Scarmage.
I will block with my Mog War Marshal.
Okay. So you're going to get a trigger.
Yep, we get a Gobbo. And this is why we held it back. It's just to buy time.
Right. Still no land for us, unfortunately. I don't think we wait till Zach untaps to kill the Snoop, just because if he hits a Munitions Expert, you just cast it immediately and kill my guy. So I'll go ahead and cast this Burst Lightning targeting your Snoop right now.
Snoop's dead.
And I'll pass turn.
So this shouldn't be revealed anymore. It's okay because that's
Known information.
yeah, known information. Oh, this was supposed to go up to 3.
Okay.
I'm going to play the Aether Vial I drew
Alright.
and pass to you.
Alright. Untap. Draw.
So again, you know, I could be attacking, but just based on my hand, it's just worth so much to wait and just get these up, so I just am way out manaing you.
Yeah.
Just play defensively for a little bit.
Right. Alright, well, we finally drew a land. Just took 5 turns. I'm going to go ahead and play it untapped. I think we're going to get this thing deployed. Zach doesn't have very good ways to block flyers. And he's already used 2 Tar Fires, so he's probably running low on removal. And so I think we just need to get the Strike Dragon active and being. So I'll go ahead and attack both guys.
Alright, you've already used Immunogenic Growth. I don't think you have that many free spells. Again, if you want to sack a land to Lava Dart and deal 3 extra damage, I'm fine with it. I'm going to save this for a turn where, save this block for a turn where you're triggering Prowess more, so it gains me more life essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say no blocks and take 2.
Alright.
Alright,
No thanks.
go to 15.
And then I'll pass turn.
Alright, got another Aether Vial trigger. This one's going to go to 1.
Alright.
This one's going to go to 2.
Mm-hmm.
This one's going to go to 4.
Wow.
So 4 is kind of the sweet spot, and you'll notice too, 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana. I can basically cast everything in my deck.
Yep.
Except the 5 mana spell, which would be unfortunate if we had that in hand, but so it is. Okay, so this is a pretty good draw. I know Raj has spells in hand because he didn't have lands. So
I hope so.
I would imagine he has quite a few spells. You know what? I want to see what happens with this before I do anything. So I'm going to activate Aether Vial for 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put a Ringleader in play.
Alright, let's see it.
Ringleader reveals the top 4 cards of my library.
Uh-oh, it's not a good one for me.
We got exactly a Sling Gang, and we get to put 3 lands on the bottom of our library. Well,
So for those of you faithful viewers of the stream, this channel, you'll know that Zach does not hit very well as Goblin Ringleaders.
no.
I think he's like 3 for 16 at this point.
I did get a couple draw 4s yesterday, though. That was pretty nice.
Do you say that for the real tournaments?
I did save it for the real tournament. Being that I can't do anything else, I'm going to cast Inquisition of Kozilek.
Alright, you got anything you want except for Bedlam Reveler. We got 2 bolts, a light stage, and the Metamorphose.
So, the bolts are tough. He can just Metamorphose clear the whole board and deal me a whole lot of damage here. But Light Up the Stage draws the most cards. That said, it's kind of awkward with Reveler. It's not that awkward, because if I take a bolt, then you just get to bolt and Light Up the Stage and Morphose next turn. Maybe I should just take the free spell in Morphose, make you choose what to do next turn. But Light Up the Stage is also pretty likely to make you hit lands, which I don't like. I'm going to take the Light Up the Stage. That might be wrong.
Okay.
Feels kind of awkward, but that's what I'm going to go ahead and do.
Yeah, as the person who's playing this deck, I'm
you.
not actually sure what I want you to take there, or what I didn't want you to take there. I think Metamorphose is the one I was most scared of, but
Sure.
I guess we'll find out. So we'll draw. It's an interesting one. So yeah, we're going to lead off with a Metamorphose.
Okay.
We're going to trigger this, and we're going to use this to represent Prowess just so we don't lose track, even though there's
You can do
a
this.
Sprite Dragon in play. Sure. And then I'm going to name Red Red.
Okay.
So we're going to draw off that. Okay, so we're going to cast another Metamorphose.
Yep.
And trigger, and I think this time we're going to go ahead and say Red Blue.
Oh, did we draw Storming Identity?
So we're going to cast the Sprite Dragon that we drew.
Ah, that makes sense.
Play this land that we drew. And
Wow.
yeah, we're doing pretty good stuff over here. Stacks at 15. Yeah, I think we just go ahead and attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to blocks. I'll put the Goblin in front of this now.
So now we have the decision of whether or not we want to go face for more damage or kill his ringleader. I think we're definitely going to have to cast Lightning Bolt here. I guess we could wait until Zach puts the known Slinging Lieutenant into play and kill that before he gets his tokens. But I think because we have these two flying attackers, we're just ready to try to kill Zach in the air. So I'm just going to go ahead and cast Lightning Bolt targeting you, taking damage.
Okay.
And I'm also going to cast, this is actually probably...
So the Lightning Bolt puts me to 12.
Yeah, and we have this Lava Dart in our graveyard, but I don't know if it's worth casting it to deal 2 more points of damage. So we're taking 6 here, and this already resolved, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have this Lightning Bolt. So I guess if we just cast the Lava Dart here, it would be lethal next turn. The problem is we know he's got the Slinging Lieutenant. But I'm gonna still just cast the Lava Dart.
Okay.
I think it's very unlikely that Zach can get out of this easily.
So you're Lava Darting me?
He only has 1 unknown, so the idea of us getting comboed out next turn is very unlikely. So yeah, I'm gonna cast Lava Dart targeting you.
Okay. That puts me to 11. This goes up to 4. And then this is going to be another 8 damage, so I'd go down to 3.
Yep.
Okay. And then this all happens.
And I'll pass to you.
Right. So I know your hand is Lightning Bolt, Bedlam Reveler. Okay.
You know Zach's got Slinging plus unknown.
So I have a really tough turn here on what I want to do. If I don't draw a land, I would rather put this in play, but I don't even think that's going to save me. I mean, I know you have a Bolt, so I have to gain life this turn, but it might be the case that I am better served hoping that my draw step for turn is land. Now we just bottomed 3 lands, which is tough. Oh, man, I really wish I knew what I was drawing. If I knew I was drawing a land, I'd have a really easy turn. If I knew I was drawing a spell, I'd also have a really easy turn. So, I have to gain a lot of life. You can do a ton of damage in the air. Like a ton. So, I think what I need to do here is hope I draw land and make the play that gives me the best chance to actually win if I do draw land. Which stinks because I just bottomed 3 and all of them would have been good. So, we're going to make the play that gives me the best chance to win if I do draw land. So
I will say before I pass that, I could have darted the token and bolted the Goblin Ringleader and gotten this potentially through. But I would have been investing a lot of burn spells into your board, and then if you have any chump blocker you can cheat into play with a Vial, then like I wasted a lot of damage trying to get this through, right?
Yep.
So I think going face and make sure that like the Flyers are adding up with the burn spells was a little better there, but there's an argument for just trying to clear your board.
Well, as it happens, you kind of gave me an out here instead of doing it that way, so we'll see if it actually works for me, but in my upkeep, I'm going to take this to 2, this to 3, and this to 5.
Oh, okay. I think I know what that means.
So, an interesting play here is I can activate Aether Vial with the trigger on the stack, so I could tap it to put Slinging into play and then move it up to 5, but I think to win the game, I just need to be able to put both of these in play this turn, and the only way I can do that is to put this to 5 and draw a land. So,
Alright.
We're going to draw. It's not a land. Okay.
So I'm assuming you mean Kiki Jiki plus Slinging?
Yep, that my hand is Kiki Jiki Slinging.
So is that even enough for you to survive though? Is it enough to kill me?
I don't think it. So what I need to do there is put Slinging in play.
Uh-huh.
I need to cast Slinging, and then I need to put Kiki Jiki into play and copy Ringleader. and then hit like some stuff like munitions expert, that type of stuff, and see where that takes me.
Oh, so okay, you can use them.
Yeah, I need to use other stuff. So I might be able to kill you, I might not, but you know, if I just start really filling the board, then my sling gang will get enough drains and I can kind of control the flyers.
So that's what I was trying to say was that like even if you went like if you decided to target your sling gang, you'd go up to 5 tokens plus the copy and the ringleader and the Kikuji. That's 8 drains if you want, and that puts you to 11. But that's still to the bolt plus my flyers.
Well, that's why I need munitions expert, which
right. No, I understand.
yeah,
I see what you're saying. I'm just
what
saying,
copy
like,
and ringleader lets me
Yep.
dig for, I guess you would say.
which you still have the option to.
I do still have the option to. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this vial.
Okay.
I drew a Snoop, so I'm going to put Snoop in play.
That's terrifying. Okay.
It's going to reveal a matron, which I can cast.
So I'm dead here, right?
Are you dead? You're at 15.
So if you go activate, put Kiki in play, copy this, put this into your hand, put that into play, go get Kiki, make infinite tokens, and then
this is not how any of this works.
Am I just making things up here?
Yeah.
Why is that?
So this doesn't have haste,
Oh, yeah, that's important.
but
So you can find the chieftain.
I do have outs to this. The problem is I don't have the thing on top of my library that I need. Because I would need to cast a harbinger. Like I just need to have a
So wait,
ring
hold on.
key
What if you did this, got chieftain? That's not enough, is it?
No. The problem too is that you just have a bolt here, and I'm at exactly 3. If I was at 4, I could actually
I'm trying to
kill
see
both of these.
I'm trying to see if you can just kill me with attacking creatures, right?
Yeah.
So like
You're
if
at
you
15.
use the matron to go get the chieftain, you put it on top of your library, or you put it in your hand, you put it into play off this. That's already, 2, 5, 8, 10 haste damage. Kiki Jiki lets you put another 3 in, so you're 2 short. Is there something that I'm missing here? We can.
No, so let me think.
What if we copy the matron and get?
No, okay. So I actually, there's actually maybe a line here. So
Okay.
let's say I play matron. Matron gets chieftain, right?
Mhm.
So then I put chieftain in play. All my things have haste. So I have a 2/2, a 3/3, a 3/3, and a 2/2, which is 10. And then I put Kiki Jiki into play. Copy chieftain. That's lethal.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we found lethal. This is
There you go.
insane. All
Right.
right. So I'm going to cast the matron. I can't vial it in. I actually have to just cast
Right.
it. This reveals the card. Doesn't do anything. Enters the battlefield. We'll go get me a chieftain. I'm going to activate Aether Vial. Well, this doesn't matter. I guess. If Sling Gang just ends up randomly being on top of the library, it's also you're also dead. Because I would then have drains with Snoop. That
Yep.
one I don't need to tap to activate, so I can just do it.
Yep.
Alright, do you want to cut?
You're good.
Alright, so Sling Gang? Anti-sub. Alright. Activate this, put a Kiki Jiki in play. Kiki Jiki has haste. I'm going to copy Goblin Chieftain, so we have a second Goblin Chieftain.
So there are 3 3s.
These are 3 3s. These are 4 4s. So that's 8, 11, 14, and this is a 3 3 now, so 17.
Yep.
An attack.
So as it played out, had I killed this and did the play that I discussed before I passed it for turn, you'd have had 14 instead of 17, right? Because this is
Yep.
or how much did you say you had? 4, 8, 11, 14, 17. So this would have 4 less. You'd have had 13 instead of 17.
That said, I also think I'm at a higher life. Right.
No, well, no, not if you had something to block with. So did you have a way to like?
I didn't have a way to block.
Then no, it would have dealt you even more damage, I think, right? Because this would have came through with a bunch of prowess triggers.
Oh.
Because I had 1, 2, 3, 4 spells, so this is a 5 damage spell.
Yeah.
So I think I should have just cleared your board. Yeah.
I think it's that. Like,
I should've done the
I think
board.
maybe you don't you haven't played the matchup enough to know. But
yeah, this is like.
but the reality is my deck is a critical mass deck. So the more goblins I get, the more just everything works together.
Yeah.
And so you letting me have any goblins just turns on my munitions experts. It turns on chieftain being better. Like it's just really bad to let me have.
There's a chance
stuff.
I should have just left the man up for the bolt and the dart and just dealt you much less damage.
Yep.
Because these were going to be so strong if I untapped anyway.
Sure.
But I didn't know how much you could undo that reach because I knew about the Sling Gang lieutenant, right?
Sure.
So a lot of ways I probably should have thought about that turn a little more, just because it's probably going to be the second to last turn, no matter how we did it.
Sure.
But you know,
Definitely an
you live
interesting
and you
game.
learn.
Though.
This,
Yeah.
this is why we play these games. We're trying
Exactly.
to understand these matchups better.
Definitely an interesting game.
For sure.
A lot of interesting stuff that happened there. I'm actually like kind of stunned I was able to find lethal there. That's really cool.
That was awesome. Yeah.
That's an example of this deck, like how different this deck can play out. Where it's like, oh, am I trying to combo to win? Am I trying to play a fair game to win? And as you saw there, Aether Vial lets you a really robust fair game, just based on.
You had you basically had access to a lot of mana that turn. You put a 5-drop. You actually used like essentially 13 CMC worth of mana that turn.
Yeah, with 3 lands in play.
Right.
Exactly, and this deck does that. That is part of like I had wins in the tournament yesterday where it was like that. It was like people are afraid of the combo. They're afraid of the combo. Holy crap! They just died to 2 chieftains.
Yeah.
You
needed every single part of the buffalo there. Like there was nothing that. Yet every drop of mana, every Aether Vial activation was used.
Yep.
And yeah, he needed. Yeah, it was awesome.
All right, let's go to board. All right, so welcome back after sideboarding. Like we said, we were trying out some new stuff for this matchup to see if I could make the matchup better post sideboard for Goblins. I ended up pulling it out in game 1, but that isn't super common. I think I got kind of lucky there.
I kept a 1-lander and took me a few turns to get going. So.
You never really got anything going,
Yeah.
and then it even looked like maybe you still had a win if you just killed my guys, but unclear. I mean, you're playing around stuff, but it is what it is. I feel like I got a little lucky, and I do feel like the matchup's bad. So what we're trying today is Thoughtseize. I do think is actually an okay card in the matchup. It's something I can do to get rid of Storming Entity. You can take Bedlam Reveler out of your hand. You can take a Light of the Stage, but the costing 2 life is a real cost, and I don't have that many 1-drops in my deck. That's actually one of the big weaknesses of Goblins, is that you don't have very many good 1-drops. So we're trying out some Chalice of the Voids in the sideboard. It is something I've seen in a few lists. I've never done it, but we saw in the Eldrazi-Tron versus Blue-Red Prowess matchup that Chalice of the Void can be oftentimes game-winning. So, I want to see if boarding in Chalices helps the matchup. I'm still bringing in 2 pushes, even with the Chalices, just based on the fact that in games where I don't have Chalice, I'm going to need to be able to make 1-mana plays. So I'm going to have 2 pushes in, and I'm still going to leave my Aether Vials in just because they're so powerful that if I can go Aether Vial into Chalice, I think I'm going to win that game a very large percentage of the time.
For sure, that seems like a really good start.
And then we're cutting all these 1s because discard spells are only okay against Prowess, and they cost life, and they're 1s for Chalice, so I think that's an easy cut. I'm taking out... I have 2 Harbingers and 2 Kikis in the deck. The combo's the weakest part of the matchup, and both of these just do not trade favorably with the removal spells you're playing. Like, they don't really generate value very well against removal spells. I leave 1 of each in just to have access to the combo, but they're not cards I actively want to draw, so I'm cutting them. And I'm cutting a Tarfire because it's very inconsistent at killing things, and again, is a 1-mana spell for Chalice. And I'm going to be boarding in 2 Warren Weirdings and a Goblin Ringleader. You'll notice that I cut exactly 3 cards that count as Goblins and brought in 3 cards that count as Goblins. The purpose of this is to keep my Goblin count high for Ringleaders and Conspicuous Snoops and just all of my critical mass stuff, right?
Right.
And Warren Weirding is a 2-mana kill spell. It just makes you sacrifice a creature. Sorcery Speed, which is not really a great card in modern terms, but I can hit it off Ringleader, I can tutor it with Matron, I can cast off the top of my library with Snoop, so it is... I think it's good enough in that context that I want in the deck, and those are the changes I'm going to make, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Over here, I'm going to cut some of these Phyrexian spells. Cutting all the Mugenic Growths. I don't think this card's very strong in the matchup. I like it more when I'm trying to punch through bigger creatures, but Zach's throwing a lot of meaningless creatures in front of my guys in combat, so otherwise it's just kind of like a Phyrexian burn spell. So I'm not too big of a fan. And then Gutshot's okay. It can hit a few Zach's creatures, but in general, I don't really want to trade a card for the cards that this card's actually killing. That might be wrong, but I think it's worth trying at least. I don't know.
Sure.
How do you feel about that?
I do think Gutshot's good against me, but it's definitely worse than Kozilek's Return, in my opinion. So that's the cut you're making it for. That makes sense.
Right. And then I'm bringing in 3 Braids. This card, before the Knowledge Chalice, was a card that can kill some of Zach's more important Goblins, while also being able to kill a Vial on the play to really set Zach back. But now that we know that Zach's being a Chalices, this card is probably going to be one of the better cards in my post-board configuration. And then we have Kozilek's Return. The Sweeper is much better against Zach than it is against me. Basically, whenever I cast a spell, barring a 1/1 Fairy Dragon, Sprite Dragon, it won't kill any of my guys because the Prowess trigger resolves first. So it's a very strong sweeper to play in a deck that plays Prowess Prowess creatures. But yeah, like I said, it can blow Zach's entire board away, which is really nice. So.
Yep. That's a card I'm scared of. I'm hoping you're not drawing it. Alright, how you feeling?
This hand looks pretty good. Probably one of the better hands I've seen with this deck so far. How about you?
So my hand's really awkward. Only one of these, which is a problem, but it has this, which is, you know, the best card in my deck, and all of this is pretty castable, so I think I'm going to keep and just die to the Abrade that Raja may or may not have, so let's go.
Alright. Land. Good.
I think because of this card, it's better to lead on this, even though I don't really want to shock. No, you know what? I think the life's going to matter. I'm going to play a Swamp and put an Aether Vial into play. Pass to you.
Okay. I'm going to cast an Opt to end the turn. I know that casting your inactive spells is better after you have the Prowess features in play in this deck, but I think it's important to look for what I'm interested in right now because I already know exactly what I'm looking for, and it also gets underneath the Chalice. So we'll go ahead and play that. I think we're content with taking that card, so yeah, we'll take that one. Tap, draw. Okay. Let me go ahead and get a mountain.
Don't Abrade me, please.
We're gonna go ahead and cast a Sprite Dragon and get in for the one.
Yep.
So we're both at 19. Good.
I'm going to put a counter on Aether Vial on my upkeep. Draw for turn. That's a pretty good draw. So again, I'm very interested in not taking damage here, so I'm just going to put this into play tapped and pass back to you.
Okay. We're gonna tap, draw. Play a land. Play a second Sprite Dragon.
Sure.
Combat.
Yep.
Attack both.
No blocks.
I guess my play is it agnostic of whether or not Zach has failed push. Yeah, I think it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and fetch down to 18.
I'm going to respond to the fetch because I'm going to do it anyway and push one.
Sure.
May as well play around Spell Pierce in case you randomly have it.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a mountain, and because of the way my hand is set up right now, I'm gonna go ahead and just it's really tough. Yeah, I think it's important to just keep this pressure coming. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Lightning Bolt targeting you.
That puts me to 16. And then
14.
damage?
Yep.
14.
Good.
Alright, upkeep. I'm going to take this up to 2. Draw. That's a pretty good draw. So I think because of the card Gut Shot existing in the deck, I want to make the play like this. So what I'm going to do is play a mountain. Let's try and turn this race on its ear. I'm going to put a Goblin Chieftain into play.
Okay.
And then I'm going to activate Aether Vial.
Sure.
And put a Munitions Expert and target that for 2.
Yeah, punished. I guess I should be leading up my burn spells more often.
And then I'll attack you for 4.
Yep, I'm at 14.
Good job.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that card existing. Alright, Mana Voice
Yep.
for blue-red. You have 2 cards left?
Yep, 3 cards.
3 cards. Alright, I'll use red to bolt this. Try first lighting it.
You down.
Go.
Alright. So, we talked about this last game, but I want to do the trick here of put the Aether Vial counter on, or trigger on the stack, and with that on the stack, I'm going to activate.
Okay.
I'm going to put a Snoop in play.
Alright.
So it reveals the top card of my library before I have to decide if I want to take it up or not. I'm drawing Blood Crypt. I will take this up.
Okay.
And then I'm going to...
Still inside your upkeep, I'm going to bolt the Snoop.
Okay. I'll go to my turn and draw my Blood Crypt. And then I think what I want to do here is just put the Blood Crypt into play tapped, and I want to start getting some value. So what I'm going to do is play a Matron.
Yep.
I'm going to tutor for a Ringleader. So that next turn I can activate my Vial, put Ringleader into play, and then I will attack you for 1 with my Munitions Expert.
13.
Past you.
I'll play and crack this fire out.
Yep.
There we go.
Ooh.
It's either all or nothing with my draws today.
Yeah. Well, losing the 2 Sprite Dragons is tough.
Yep.
Alright, upkeep, I want to take this up to 4. Draw for turn. That's a pretty good draw. So I know I'm going to activate this turn, so what that means is I'm going to play Auntie's Hovel, I'm going to reveal Ringleader,
Yeah.
make sure this comes into play tapped, and then I'm going to activate this.
Sure.
Put Ringleader into play. Trigger.
Ooh, 2. That's above average.
We hit 2! So strong! So these are some good hits. I'm still going to start my turn by playing a Snoop, just in case I have something on top.
Okay.
Reveal Chieftain, and that's why we did it. I'm going to cast the Chieftain.
Yep.
Reveal Auntie's Hovel. Go to combat.
Bird your Chieftain.
Alright, Chieftain down. Still go to combat. I'll attack you for 4.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we can call this a game. I don't really have much going on. I drew a Lava Dart this turn. Just kind of got flooded, and then I think I was punished for my play of firing off the bolt. But as you can see here, like if I had another bolt in my hand, I wouldn't be in a much better spot. Like Zach, I'm just running out of things to do, and Zach's pressuring me. My whole idea was that like Zach can't block Spire Dragon, so like if I can get it, like he already showed 1 removal spell. His deck doesn't have that much removal, so I was like, I'm gonna put damage on you. I still had another bolt and a burst lightning in my hand.
Yep.
So like I might be able to just like kill you next turn and a Metamorphose.
Sure.
So like I was just trying to like put damage on your head as soon as possible and kind of just faded a removal spell. You having the Vial made it so that maybe I should have played around the Munitions Expert with like Expert plus other creature.
Sure.
Because I can just bolt the second creature with the trigger on the stack if I leave the mana. So maybe that was just a bad play. But I don't know. Zach had a lot of removal both games. Game 1 I had kept a 1-lander, didn't really get there. Game 2 I just kind of flooded.
Let's play a third game for science where I'm on the play because I haven't been on the play yet, and I actually don't.
You won the die roll, so you're on the play.
I was on the play. Well, I want to be on the play post board just to see. I actually think that deck likes being on the draw against my deck just because you trade with removal spells a lot. If that makes sense. It sounds awkward, but I actually think it plays out not that bad for this deck.
Yeah, I'm inclined to disagree with you just because you're an Aether Vial deck that's gonna once it gets the 4-drops going, it's just gonna go off. But maybe you're right. You know this matchup better than I do. So
let's see. I mean, let's play the game.
All right. So Zach is demanded to be on the play for this one.
Yeah,
despite
cheating my way into
beating,
being on the play.
Taking a beating in all these games so far.
So, I mean, this is how you draw it up. This is what I envision the hand to be like in a post-board game. So we're gonna keep this and see how it goes.
Okay, and I will do what I've been doing best today, and mulligan. Very awkward hand. 5 lands is like approximately $1 million in this deck, and then a card that we don't want to draw till late, and a Lava Dart. Okay, I think we gotta keep this one. It's got this, got that. A little light on this, but gotta keep it. Let's do it.
All right. I think because this is the only damage I'm set up to take this turn, it's fine. I would love for this to just get Mountain, but unfortunately it can't. So I'm just gonna sacrifice the Polluted Delta, get a Blood Crypt, go to 17. And then I'm gonna put a Aether Vial into play and pass to you.
Alright. I will play Swister and attack for 1.
16.
Good.
Alright. Take this up. Draw for turn. I'm going to play Auntie's Hovel. I'll reveal Conspicuous Snoop.
Yep.
And then I'm going to put Chalice on one.
Alright.
Next to you.
Alright, so my Molt 6 feels like a Molta 3 now. Also didn't draw a land, which is not ideal. So just going to attack for 1.
Yep. 15.
Good.
Alright, we're going to take this up to 2. Draw for turn. Oh, that's kind of an awkward draw step, but I can't really complain because Raja's stuck on a land. It probably has 1-drops in his hand. So, yeah. I'm going to lead off by activating a Cabal.
Okay.
I'm going to put a Conspicuous Snoop into play.
Alright.
Reveal the top card of my library. It's a land. Given that I have a land on top, I am just going to cast another Snoop, play a Blade Grip tap, and pass to you.
Okay. We'll draw. Okay, it's a decent draw. I'm gonna go ahead and play Fire Islet. Take one off the islet to cast Mana Merfolk.
Yep.
We're gonna float red blue. Draw. We're gonna cast this Storming Entity.
It's a good one.
Trigger.
1 Prowess trigger.
I think it's important enough that we do this again next turn. That we're gonna go ahead and take this, even though, you know, kind of ends there. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So we're gonna do top bottom, and I'm comfortable trading my Swift Spear for one of Zach's Snoops here. So I'm just gonna attack.
Yeah, and I don't want to trade my Snoops here at all. But with the Storming Entity in play and no answer in sight, and the fact that Raja can't use 1-mana kill spells to kill it, and the 2-mana removal spells that he would have are Braid, which are definitely going to go after the Chalice first, I think I'm okay to block with both Snoops and trade for 1.
Alright, good. I guess an argument for leaving this back, if I know your list better, is to play around Warren Weirding.
Sure.
So,
That would make sense.
yeah, I did it. It's fine.
This is going to go up to 3.
Yep.
I'm going to draw... Oh. I'm going to draw the most awkward land in my deck here. We'll reveal top card of my library. Another land. That's not ideal. I'm going to go ahead and put that into play. And I can't attack, so I'm going to go ahead and pass to you.
Alright. Alright, here we're going to go to combat
Yep.
and attack Zach.
Yeah, no blocks. I can't block.
I'm going to go ahead and cast Lava Dart targeting you.
It gets countered.
Alright, I'll
Yep.
take 1 more damage. It's good.
Okay. I go to 11.
Alright. So the real reason why we cast Lava Dart there is to cast another Storming Entity.
Sure.
Trigger. Yeah, we're cool with this card right here. Well, I think let's pass on the other one because of the Chalice of the Void in play. So, top, bottom. Go ahead.
Alright. I'm going to take this up to 4. I'll draw for turn.
Yep.
Hopefully not have a land on top of my library. That's great. That's really
Why don't you
strong.
just cast that off? Oh, never mind.
Well, also I just have a Chalice on 1.
That's true.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, Chalice seems like it'd be really good in the dark, but it's stopping me from casting this other Aether Vial, which, as you saw in Game 1, having multiple Aether Vials matters.
Yeah.
In a Matron deck. And it's stopping me from using this, so I'm gonna pass.
Okay. So I'm gonna draw, and we'll play this Spark Dragon that we scratched at the top.
Yep.
Go to combat.
Yep.
I will attack with everybody.
I can't block.
Before damage, I will take up my damage to cast Lightning Bolt targeting you.
Gets counter.
Yep. And so this is one short of lethal, so I'm gonna go ahead and just cast a Lava Dart to make it lethal. Zach's got nothing.
Lava Dart gets countered. So these are
Triggers.
5/5s, and that's a 3/3.
Yep.
So I'm gonna activate Aether Vial. Put a Sling Gang into play.
Yep.
Trigger, I get 2 Goblins. And you're taking for 13 at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah. If I just leave the Sling Gang in play, I don't really think I get out of this. I need to hit something off Snoop next turn. I can't cast this. So yeah, I'm just gonna sack all 3 of these.
Wait, you only need to sacrifice 2 of them, right?
You're taking for 13, right?
Yeah, but you're at 11. Oh, 13. I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Jackson lose all 3.
They go to 14
I'm
and
gonna
then
go
go
to
to
14,
1.
and then you go to 1. All right. Go ahead.
All right, I'm not gonna take this up to 5. We cut a Kiki Jiki. There's only 1 Kiki Jiki, so I'm gonna draw push and reveal Chieftain.
Can you kill me?
We're gonna find out. This not being like I knew this to be like a matron probably, but
I mean, you can still hit it off the Snoop, right? I guess you don't.
I can't
if
use
you
the
don't have
vial
land.
with the Snoop.
Sure, if you don't have land.
That's the awkward part.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
I don't know.
I guess if this
You
is
still have another card in your hand that I don't know about, so let's see.
Chieftain,
Okay.
reveal, Cavern of Souls. I'll get in for 5.
I'm at 9.
I'm dead.
All right.
So Chalice looks strong there. I did brick.
You just did nothing else afterwards.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I had 2 Snoops and a Sling Gang, an Aether Vial, a Chalice, and 2 lands, and I think that's a keep every time. But like you saw there, Storming Entity and the Flyers are a really big problem for this deck. I never found my removal spells. Sling Gang bricked. I didn't have a Matron. Like I think one Ringleader there changes the whole game,
I agree.
but I never found it, and that's a risk I'm taking there, keeping a hand like that. Oh, the Matron was the next card. Oh well.
Well, I think that concludes our video. As always, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw. Comment in the comment section. We'll be there talking to you guys too. So, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you everybody.